and we just got back from South Bend a few days ago after a great trip, a great win, really everything. That whole trip was pretty amazing. Notre Dame's amazing, always has been amazing, always will be amazing.
Yeah, it was an awesome trip. We've been talking about that might have been our favorite trip. 42-point win. Obviously, that was the highlight, but not really the highlight. Actually, the highlight was hanging out with a bunch of really great people. The Fighting Irish faithful, Dos Leprechauns tailgate that we had on Saturday morning was a lot of fun. Probably 25, 30 people there. Just really good group of people. Some good grub, courtesy of Tim Flynn. Shout out to you, buddy. Deliciously, ridiculously good food. Irish JTL with some bomb cream corn, which I don't know how you could ever make cream corn any better, but you found a way to do it. Nolan Gentry, Dr. Abby, and Big Al for president. It was just a great group of people. Really had a great time. Joe, thanks for putting that all together. Joe with Fighting Irish Faithful, the affiliate podcast of ours here with Dos Leprechauns. It was kind of cool. First time I've ever been a part of this. Weather delay, hour and 10 minutes or so. We had to clear the stadium for an hour and 10 minutes or so because there was a lightning strike, which when you saw the weather there, it was like, how would there be a lightning strike? Well, there was definitely a lightning strike because we were out of the stadium. It was kind of weird. But we even had a good time with that. We did a little live, and I appreciate you guys all jumping onto that. That was actually a lot of fun. And try to make the best of it. It is what it is, and we got to go back in. And I would say at least half of the original attendees left, so everybody got to sit kind of wherever they wanted. We got to do a live show with Frank Stams of the 1988 National Championship team. He and Michael Stonebreaker are still working on the N88D.com shirts, which we actually purchased one, and it's awesome. Highly recommend you grab one. We'll put the link in the show notes again, N88D.com. Their special national championship design that those two guys did. Tim Finnegan, go Irish, let's get another victory. Absolutely. So not a whole lot to break down that hasn't already been broke down from the Stanford game, but, pretty much total domination after the first series. The first series came out a little flat, had a couple penalties pre-snap. Anthony Knapp, I think, had a false start, a couple little things like that. Stanford got on the board pretty quick, and then we came back and answered and then took control from there and didn't relent at all. I really liked seeing Keldon Young get some carries toward the end of the game there. Obviously, Jeremiah Love had another huge game. Jadarian Price had a good game. Riley Leonard, QB1, cry yourself to sleep if you don't like it, had another great game and just continues to get better week by week. This week against Georgia Tech, going to obviously have a lot tougher test against that defense, which surprisingly is pretty good against the run. So I don't think you'll see Riley run as much, but I do think they're a little bit susceptible to the pass. So really hoping to see one of our wide receivers kind of break out this week. Maybe it's Chris Mitchell, maybe it's Bo Collins, Faison if he's healthy.
Jaden Greathouse,
my bad. It's Jaden.
Jaden Greathouse.
Mitchell Evans, let's get Mitchell Evans going today, guys. Huh?
I don't think he's been healthy all year, honestly. Yeah, I think he's been playing a little injured.
You could be right. I mean,
he rushed back a little too soon.
He definitely doesn't look healthy, I guess is the best way to put it. So
I guess that's also good for the Irish because I think that's kind of showing that he's going to come back next year.
Yeah, maybe.
Because he'd probably need an insane rest of the season to come back.
So kind of a little bit of a tumultuous week after the Stanford game. Of course, we all know the injury bug continues to bite Notre Dame this year. We lose starting offensive lineman right before the first game of the season. Then we lose Jordan Botello and Trubacor in the same game against Purdue. Or no, that wasn't against Purdue. I'm sorry. We lost him against Purdue. No, we lost Trubacor.
Well, Botello was against
Purdue.
Yeah.
Obviously not a great week in terms of injuries. Eric Jura said, "Don't worry, Irish will crush even with injuries." Nate thinks you're right. I think it's going to be closer than people think, but I still think we win. Patrick McCormick, Patty.
What's up, Patty?
Go Irish. So Patty, one of our fellow Dos Leprechauns admin, was able to come on the trip with us, and just a great dude. Had a great time with them. Grateful to have that relationship with our Dos Leprechauns admin guys. They're awesome. So in addition to the injuries to BenMo, had a good thing happen. We had offensive lineman Cameron Herron ended up committing to the Irish, so that's a big pickup for that O-line. He's a big center that I think will play right. He could play right away when he comes on campus. I thought that was a big pickup. Oh goodness, I can't remember the quarterback's name that we just got. Nate, go ahead and start talking about your Stanford takeaways real quick, and then we'll get into the.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good game for the Irish. I think it was a huge game for the defensive line, which impressed me the most. Obviously, Leonard looked really good throwing the ball, maybe 2 missed throws the whole game. Riley Mills established himself as who everybody thought he was in the offseason. He and Howard Cross had really good games. They were both on if you guys remember, the freak list that was thrown out by some college football writers this offseason. So if they can continue that, the sky's the limit for Notre Dame. And I truly mean that, because they triple teamed Howard Cross and Riley Mills at the same time, and they still got through and still made plays. And that's how sacks happen. That's how you can limit these guys that are mobile, and they're not going to want to stand in the pocket and throw the ball. They're going to get on the run and try to make these plays that everyone knows, Ashton Daniel isn't going to make, or the guy today, Zach Pyron isn't going to make. Haynes King, I could see him make some of these plays, but Notre Dame they are a good team this year. Don't let Northern Illinois fool you that Notre Dame isn't good. They are a good football team. They're a good football team, and there's other teams that are losing, haven't looked good, and they're getting talked about like they're the best team in the country.
The other defensive standout from the game, of course, was Josh Burnham scoring a touchdown.
Not a touchdown.
It was a pick. It should have been a pick six, but whatever. Josh Burnham, let's call it. Bill Hackett, 1988 national champion, checking in. Go Irish. What's up, fellas? What's up, brother? We missed you out at we missed you, and we missed MOS out there. We didn't get a chance to run into Mark, but it's all right. The quarterback that we got this week also, so we obviously Deuce Knight. See you later, buddy. Deuces. We were able to flip a Clemson commit, Blake Herbert, a big, strong kid. He's had some injury issues, but he looks like a grown man already, and he throws like a grown man. So excited that we were able to get Blake Herbert in that 25 class to kind of fill that void. Here in the next couple of weeks, probably on the bye week, we'll do some future casting and talk about what the quarterback room may look like in the next 4 or 5 years. I think the transfer quarterback era is over for a long time unless something drastically changes. I think we're set for 6-8 years here without having to touch the portal or anything else, barring injuries, barring anything crazy. Chad Mission, go Irish, guys. Hope you guys had some great food and company with you today. Yes, sir. Chad with Legion of the Leprechaun, our partners. Good guys. They do an awesome tailgate every weekend at White Field and have an awesome page. So if you're not on Legion of the Leprechaun, you probably are, because we share a lot of the same fans, but definitely check them out. Hey, why did we drop this week? So
good question.
It's a good question, but honestly, and this may not be a popular opinion, but I feel like it's irrelevant at this point. The only standings that matter are the ones that come out in late November, early December, when it decides who's going to actually go to the playoffs. Like, we just need to keep winning. If we went out, we are going to be in the playoffs, straight up, no doubt about it. So that's all that we need to worry about right now. But it's odd. Obviously, I don't think there's any bias or anything like that. I think it's just one of those deals where we beat a pretty bad Stanford team. Other teams had some wins against pretty bad teams too, and they made them moved up. But it really just doesn't matter until the playoff rankings come out. We need to be in the top 12 or maybe even top 11 when the playoffs come out, and we'll be in. This is a good point right here from Eric. I'm going to pin this. Eric Juror said, Wes Pritchett's son will be on the field for Georgia Tech. That's a shame. Yeah, I was really hoping his son, I think it's Mitchell is his name, or Marshall. I think that's his kid's names. Bill, correct me if I'm wrong, but he's playing for Georgia Tech today. I know Wes is really excited about that, and he should be. His kid's playing D1 college football against his alma mater, but they're sadly probably going to be on the losing end of it, but it's still kind of cool. I want to see the Irish get off to a fast start. That's from Thomas Welker. Yeah, I do too, and it's just I feel like all year, every game essentially, other than really Northern Illinois when we scored first, we've got off to a little bit of a slow start, kind of some kinks to work out. But what I saw against Stanford, if we can continue to play that way offensively and be efficient, limit penalties, obviously limit turnovers, and move the ball on the ground, throw it when necessary, throw it when, taking the defense off guard, I think we're going to see some really good stuff. And I do see Riley continuing to get better week after week and getting more confident in the scheme and in his wide receivers. What else did you like from Stanford, Nate, on that game?
Yeah, I just think the whole offense is starting to mesh really well together. I mean, it's so different how they look from the Texas A&M game, from where pretty much everybody was new. Like, I think the only returning starters were Mitchell Evans and Jaden Greathouse, honestly. And, it takes some time for an offense to mesh that way. They got through the A&M game with a win, obviously. But I just think it's pretty impressive how fast that they've clicked and how they're all pretty much on the same wavelength right now. They're all clicking on the same cylinders. Jeremiah Love has scored a touchdown in every single game this season, which I think is insane.
It is insane.
And the two-headed monster that Notre Dame has at running back is insane, and I think it's going to continue on for years and years to come at Notre Dame.
Yeah, the running back room is insane. I mean, everybody talks about tight end U. Obviously, that's a thing with Nicole Kometz, Michael Mayers, Kyle Rudolph, Mark Bavaro, goes to the post, all these guys that we've had over the years, Tyler Eifert. But we're kind of turning into O-line U and also running back university. I mean, geez, we got Kyron Williams in the league. Josh Adams was in the league for a while. Audric Estime, I think, will eventually be a player in the league. And then look at the talent we have coming in right now. I mean, you've obviously got Jeremiah Love. I'm sure he'll stay. You got Jadarian Price. Jabron Payne will be coming back next year. You got young Aeneas Williams scored his first touchdown against Stanford last week. He's going to be a featured running back. And then you got Justin Thurman, who we had on the show a few weeks ago, coming in, who is an absolute freak of nature. Yeah. Do one of those guys end up going to receiver? Do one of them move to defense? I mean, there's so many opportunities coming up that running back wise, we're going to be studs. Mitchell said, it seems like our opponents get to defer at the beginning of the games, most of the games for the last few years. Coincidence? Does it even matter? I think it does. I think it does too. I think we usually do better when we're able to defer. Eric said, Nate, what do you think about CJ Carr? Should Notre Dame take the growing pains now to reap the benefits for next year?
No. Stay with Riley because this is a playoff team.
Not just that, but I think CJ's hurt. So CJ won't play this year. I think you'll see Angeli in mop-up duty, and then you'll see Kenny Minchie. I want to see more Minchie. When we're up big or, God forbid, somebody gets hurt, I want to see Minchie, man. Minchie mania all day. Angeli seems like a great kid, but he's not a dual threat. To me, he's just kind of a Tommy Reese 2.0, in my humble opinion, which doesn't matter. All right, let's get into the Georgia Tech game. Obviously, the big question the last few days here was Haynes King, the starting QB1 for Georgia Tech, if he is going to play. And it came out yesterday, late in the day, that he's not going to play, and they're going with
Zach Pyron. He's a backup quarterback, a lifelong backup quarterback at Georgia Tech. Just been learning under King and the other quarterbacks at Georgia Tech. He's had 3 career starts. He's 1-2 in his 3 career starts, and he really hasn't looked world beating in any of those games. He's had the same amount of turnovers as he has had passing touchdowns, which is 3 in his career. He has more rushing touchdowns than passing touchdowns. The Georgia Tech, even when Haynes King wasn't injured, they've used Pyron in goal line situations to run QB power and QB sneaks over the center, and he's gotten in a few times on there. He went in the fourth quarter against North Carolina last week and didn't look great. They had a couple 3-and-outs. They didn't score at all in the fourth quarter until their running back scored with 20 seconds, which ended up being the game-winning touchdown. And that was really it for them last week. North Carolina isn't very good, and I don't think Georgia Tech is very good. But we'll see today.
Bob Jacobs just chimed in. Nate's going to talk about this too, but Georgia Tech's leading tackler is also out for the game. I think that just came in this morning. Yeah. So, yeah, that is accurate. He is out. What's his name?
Kyle Efford. He's their leading tackler. He also has a sack. He's definitely their best player on defense.
What position does he play?
He's a linebacker.
Okay, so they're going to be without their linebacker. They're going to be without their starting quarterback. Where the line moved to 13.5. The Irish favored by 13.5 this morning from 9.5 yesterday. Started at 8.5, went up to 12.5. So it's kind of been all over the place. But yeah, the 13.5 number, obviously there's a lot of money coming in on the Irish late here, probably because of the 2 injuries. Mitchell said, yesterday I saw the odds range between 10 and 14 points in favor of ND. Your thoughts? I think we'll win by maybe 10 to 13, somewhere in that range. I don't think we're going to blow them out. But then again, last week I said, the Stanford game is going to be close. And we won by 6 touchdowns. So I'm usually wrong. So listen to this guy. He's usually right somehow. See, Sheila Allen, let's go Irish. We need this win. Absolutely. Thanks for joining in. Hey, guys, Ken Murphy on checking in. Our old buddy Marquise Palmer from Riverside, California, for randomly a big South Carolina fan, but whatever, says, what's up, homies? Will the Irish eventually join a conference due to the restructuring going on? We don't need to join a conference, and I hope we don't join a conference. With the 12-team playoff, I think that the Irish have every opportunity to get into the playoffs at a 10, 11, 12 seed after the automatic bids for the conference champions. And with their schedule, we always have a tough schedule, despite what people may say. If they win or lose one game even, I think they'll be right there every year with an opportunity to get into the playoffs. Eric said, "Great job, Nate. You sound good. Your voice and knowledge is growing." Thank you, Eric. That's a nice compliment. All right, what else on Georgia Tech? How they look on defense besides this kid that's out now?
Yeah, so defense, they're not world beaters. They let up 34 points to kind of a struggling North Carolina offense who lost their starting quarterback at the beginning of the year. But defensively, they allow about 230 yards passing through the air each game, 20 points per game on defense. So not incredible. They bring the pressure on defense with 9 sacks this season. And one thing I want to talk about that no one's really talking about, their struggles on special teams.
Oh, interesting.
Their kicker is very inconsistent. I know that's kind of like, whatever, who cares? But he's usually in on about 40 yards and up to go, and he's so inconsistent. He missed a 44-yarder last week. He made a 45-yarder against Florida State in week 0, actually. And then last week they had a return touchdown against them on punt. So that could be something to look for because I've been very impressed with Notre Dame special teams this year.
Yeah, no,
I know they've had one issue where they muff the punt, but I really think they return some kicks today and get to very good field position for the offense.
Looks like Mitch Jeter is going to be out today, so that's unfortunate. But yeah, I think either way, our special teams have been a lot better. Rendell's gotten a lot better punting the ball. So yeah, they just need to keep that consistency. I think somebody said earlier, I want them to come out fired up and hot, and I really do want to see that this year. I'd love to just put this team away early, maybe in the late third quarter, early fourth quarter. We get Angeli and or Minchie, hopefully Minchie in, and some more reps for Young and Aeneas Williams because we're going to need that. I mean, I hate to say this, but we've still got we've still got Navy and Army to go. You're going to see the triple option from Navy. So there's going to be some more injuries, I'm sure of it. So we really need to try to get some of these younger guys reps. One person I forgot to talk about in the Stanford game that I think is really starting to come alive is KVA.
Oh yeah.
Kingston Villamiasu Asa. Sorry if I got that wrong, whoever's listening, but he has been absolutely playing with his hair on fire and has been so much fun to watch in coverage. He got a sack last week, and just in general is really living up to that hype. Him, Drake Bowen, Osbury, the other guy, Jack Kaiser, who, oh God, great kid, but man, it's like when he's on the field, bad things happen. I hate to say that, but it's just, not always. I'm being facetious, obviously, but he's not the playmaker that we need out there when we start playing the Navies and the Armies that are undefeated, or the SCs who are going to be a high-powered offense, or even Virginia for that matter, who's pretty decent. So, yeah, let's see. Justin Knox says, protect the football, get Evans involved once. Oh, get Evans involved for once. Yeah, seriously, man. Hopefully he's fully healthy. I would love to see him fired up and ready to be a big part of the offense like we thought he would. Ken Murphy's score prediction is 34-20. I think that's pretty accurate, Ken. I could see that being the final score. I think we're going to score, and I think that we'll hold them when we need to. I'm sure the usual meltdown will happen the second Georgia Tech starts moving the ball from our fan base, but that's just the way it goes sometimes. We're obviously a D1 football program playing against other teams that, the difference between a 3 and a 4-star sometimes isn't too much. And so the talent's going to be there. They're going to have some playmakers. They'll make some plays. But I definitely do look for the Irish to pull away late. But I do think it's going to be close. Mike Golick said, "What's up, gentlemen? Go Irish." Or is it Golich? I don't think that's the Mike Golick, spelled different. On a side note, Nate has ability, more exposure, he'll become greater. On a side note, Nate has ability.
I think you might be talking about CJ Carr.
Okay. Next man up, play like a champion. Yeah, we've got a lot of next man up situations going on.
Literally, the whole team.
Practically. And I keep going back to this, but again, going back to last week, I forgot another guy to talk about that is a next man up type deal that has been amazing, and that is Bryce Young. Yeah. None other than Bryant Young, one of the most electrifying defensive linemen the Irish have ever had, has been a 19-year-old freaking phenom. He made some plays last week that, as you look at the intricacies of playing D-line, the headiness that he has, the aggression he plays with, the speed, the power, the movement. I mean, I'm telling you right now, Bryce Young is going to be a very special player, just like his dad was for Notre Dame. So look to see Bryce Young quite a bit today, and then again for the rest of the season.
He was ruthless on special teams earlier this year too.
Just killing people.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah.
Dave Brooks says Indy sucks. Alrighty. Thanks for that contribution, Dave. Dave's just playing. He's a hater. I don't think Dave's ever watched a full football game, so I'm not going to put too much stock in that. Let's see. Marquise Palmer, I appreciate you guys. Miss you all. Go Irish. Go Gamecocks. No, not go Gamecocks, buddy. Come on. But yeah, go Irish for sure. Let's see what else we got here. Yes, Bryce Young, exciting player. Yeah, he's really going to be a lot of fun to watch. Corner wise, obviously with BenMo being out, you're going to have drawing a blank here. Well, Christian Gray obviously on one side, and Leonard Moore. Sorry, brain fart for a minute there. Leonard Moore played. He started against Louisville, which was probably our most difficult opponent as it comes to passing. So, if he can shut down Tyler Shuck and that receiving core, I think he'll do okay against Georgia Tech. And I think a guy like Leonard Moore, the more confident he gets, the better he'll play, and the more exciting you'll see from that guy. There's a couple people that I've heard, insiders, that have said that Leonard Moore may be better than BenMo when it's all said and done. So pretty big statement to make. I did not make that statement. I'm just telling you something that I had heard. Tim Schwartz said, can RL return next year? Riley Leonard? I think he can because of the COVID year, but he's not going to, he knows, everybody knows it's not a big secret. The starting quarterback next year, it's going to be a competition between CJ Carr and Kenny Minchie. Most likely CJ Carr will be our guy next year. Warren Clark will share reps at the field corner spot. Hobbs too. Yeah, Carson Hobbs, Jordan Clark, who I've been really, really impressed with. He's a fifth-year guy that transferred from Arizona State. Didn't, jump off the charts at me at first when I looked at him at Arizona State, but he's been really, really efficient for us, I think. I think he's done a really good job. So, yeah, I obviously you lose a guy like BenMo. He's probably the best cornerback, top 2-3 quarterbacks in the nation. It's going to hurt. You're going to have some times where you'll probably see Leonard Moore make some mistakes and we may get burnt for it, but hopefully they can limit those and provide some safety help. When you have a guy like Xavier Watts as your starting safety, you can afford for your corners to make a mistake here and there as long as it's not consistent. How good has Xavier Watts been? It's insane.
Even on that interception he almost had that was called back last week. Yep. Just seeing him from the safety position go over to the right side was nuts. No,
he's just an absolute freak, and all the accolades he gets, he deserves. He just seems like a really solid kid. The story about his father and playing for his father and everything. Just the story you want to see coming out of Notre Dame as a fan. Good. Justin Knoxville, yet another good comment, another good zinger here, Jay. Schuler playing well also. Adon Schuler has been everything he's been advertised for. And I just got excited in my tummy right now because I started thinking next year you're going to have Schuler, you're going to have Blair. Holy cow. The defense for the next 4 or 5 years is going to be just freaky. Yeah. And if Golden comes back, I say they sign Al Golden to like a lifetime deal because if not, he's going to leave and go to the NFL as a DC or maybe even a head coach somewhere.
Should name a library after him.
Why not? Let's name one of the buildings. They're building 8,000 more buildings over there, so why not?
Great library.
Golden's great library. I like it. So, all right, guys, we're coming up on about an hour and a half before game time. Game's going to be on ESPN, so we don't have to listen to the worst commentator in the history of mankind, Jason Garrett. So that's always a plus. I think
Theo Riddick is on the call.
Yeah, not Theo. Louis Riddick, who I love. Louis Riddick.
He's a very good.
Yeah, he usually keeps it pretty down the middle. And is that Army winning?
Oh, they're crushing.
Who are they playing?
East Carolina.
Yeah, Army's destroying East Carolina, so they're going to remain undefeated. Yeah. They got that little running back that's really good. So yeah, so Army, Navy, Florida State, Virginia, SC. After this week, it's not going to be an easy road. Virginia is better than you may think. Florida State, although they're 1-6 now, they lost to Duke yesterday. They're still Florida State. They still have 4 or 5-star athletes. So we cannot take anybody lightly. I want to see how cool was it. Again, sorry, going back to last week, Ian, but how cool was it last week? We're up 40. I think we were at 35 at that point, and Freeman going for it on 4th down to get another score.
He wanted that 50 burger. He wanted it.
Yeah, he must have heard me. That made me so excited and happy. I was going crazy in the rain. It was just a great situation in general. It was awesome. Mike Kane, go Irish, buddy. Stacey York, go Irish from Savannah, Georgia. Oh, cool. We have family in Savannah. In fact, our aunt just moved out to that area. So hopefully one day we'll get out there. We'd love to see the area. Watch some Georgia high school football would be awesome. But before we end today, we want to we keep putting this off, and apologies to the author for doing it. But Matt Shelton, who was our guest a couple months ago on the show, gifted some books to us to do his giveaways. So we're going to do that now. So here's his book, Rising Through Every Fall. It's kind of cool. They have this book at the what's that store? Rally House in, I think it's in Mishawaka. So we walked in, we saw this, and former Leprechaun Mike Brown's book. This particular copy of the book is actually signed by Matt Shelton. It says, "May you stay blessed and always remember your courage. Cheers, Matt Shelton, number 82, Matt Turbo Shelton." So we're going to be giving that book away. I read it, really good book. I actually used some quotes that he had in here for some team building I did for my staff. The contest is going to be, all we need you guys to do is share this podcast, whether you're on YouTube, whether you're on Facebook. Please share this podcast. All you got to do is hit share and, maybe put something like subscribe to Dose Leprechauns or whatever, and you'll be automatically entered into winning this book, Rising Through Every Fall. Is it fail? No, fall. I'm dumb. And we'll announce the winner of that on Monday afternoon while we are waiting to watch the Chargers take on the Cardinals out here in Arizona. So go watch a little Joe Alt becoming one of the best offensive rookie of the year. Cam Hart going to start at corner. Alohi Gilman going to start at safety. A lot of Irish in the NFL that we'll see in person on Monday. So, share this post, and you'll automatically be entered. We'll be able to see all the shares. So again, we'll start that the second we sign off here, and that'll be active until Monday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Let's see. One more thing here. We got Justin Knox. Better take the academy seriously, but let's take care of business today first. Yeah, take care of business today, and then we got Navy next week, and then a bye. Oh my God, the triple option, man. I love the academies. I really do. All of them. I root from 364 days out of the year. The only day I don't is when we play them. But yeah, they're both very, very good this year. Last thing here says, your thoughts when we went out, we host playoffs. Let's F and go Irish.
I don't think we host a game.
Yeah, I don't think we'll be able to host a game. The NIU loss, I think, unfortunately, will bump us too low to be able to do that, even if we went out. Bob Jacobs says his love out. I haven't heard that. Let me check something real quick. I don't think he's out. I hope he's not out. And if you're inquiring about that as to last week and why he didn't play much, we still have not been able to get a real firm answer on that. It's kind of a weird deal. I don't really have an answer for you. I don't think anybody does. I had heard some scatterings that it might have been some sort of disciplinary issue related to the end of the Louisville game, because Louisville was running their mouths and they did some stuff. And Jay Strong just said, wait, Jason read a book? Well, it has pictures. So I skimmed through the words and then I just kind of went to the pictures, Jay. So yeah, no, you're right. I've read a book once or twice. It's coloring books, but it's still reading. By the way, big shout out to a couple people involved in our Get Greg to Notre Dame experience for the Virginia game. Still looking for folks to get involved with this. We're bringing this individual to Notre Dame for his first game. He's had some trouble health-wise, so we want to make sure that he has a great experience. So if you're interested in participating in any way, drop a comment drop a note in the comment section, and we'll get in touch with you. But to everybody that has helped us far, thank you very much. We appreciate it. I definitely know the family appreciates it. So good stuff as always. So again, share the post to be entered into the Rising Through Every Fall. And then please make sure you let us know if you'd like to help out with the Greg to Notre Dame trip. And we will be there at Virginia, so we hope to see more of you there. Thanks for everybody that hung out with us and said hi and gave us hugs, and we love it all. We love the hugs. Hugs under the dome, as our boy Bill Hackett says. So everybody have a great day. Stay blessed. Stay safe. Go Irish. Beat Yellow Jackets.